Karen's obsession with controlling my life escalated once again when she attempted to force me off my property entirely. She claimed that her HOA had authority over residency, rules, and access, imagining that I would simply comply. But she had no idea that I was prepared to defend every inch of my land, property rights, and personal sovereignty, and that the Second Amendment was a tool I was more than ready to rely on if necessary. When her representatives arrived to enforce her imagined authority, I greeted them calmly, fully aware of their intent and unflinching in the face of their threats. Karen assumed that intimidation, numbers, and paperwork could compel me to abandon my property. She believed that her position gave her power, but she had overlooked one critical fact: my readiness, my knowledge of the law, and my ability to assert my rights decisively. Every intrusion, every demand, and every attempt to intimidate was carefully documented. Photographs, videos, timestamps, and witness accounts ensured that any action she took would be recorded as evidence of overreach. Karen, meanwhile, was unaware that I had fortified my property, established clear boundaries, and positioned myself to respond legally, strategically, and, if necessary, with defensive force. When she attempted to escalate, I calmly informed her representatives that any attempt to remove me from my property would be met with lawful resistance. Her arrogance faltered as they realized they were facing someone who understood both the law and the consequences of overreach. Her threats, once bold, became uncertain and hesitant. Every attempt to assert dominance only revealed the fragility of her authority and the depth of her miscalculation. Neighbors and HOA members began to notice the escalating conflict. Karen, who had once been seen as a powerful figure, was now exposed as reckless, entitled, and unable to enforce her imagined rules. Her attempts to remove me from my property were no longer an assertion of authority. They were a display of desperation, incompetence, and arrogance. The neighborhood witnessed firsthand that entitlement cannot override preparation, rights, and strategy. By the end of the confrontation, Karen had learned yet another lesson. Her ability to dominate or intimidate had limits she had consistently ignored. My property remained secure, my rights intact, and my position strengthened. The Second Amendment, combined with legal knowledge and preparedness, had ensured that any attempt to force compliance was not only futile, but also potentially dangerous for her and her allies. Karen had believed she could remove me at will, but she had misjudged entirely. Every action she took against me became evidence of her recklessness. Every attempt at intimidation was neutralized, and every miscalculation reinforced my authority. Her entitlement had collided with experience, law, and readiness, and, as always, entitlement lost. The saga continued, but the message was clear. Crossing someone who is prepared, strategic, and fully aware of their rights comes at a cost far higher than Karen had ever anticipated.